All right. Today we're going to be going through. Hang on a sec. Let me double check audio. Test. Audio. Test. Test. Audio. Test. Great. All right. So yeah, I'm going to start with a couple of. There we go. Okay. We're good. Uh, so today we're going to get this. We are going to get this game. We're going to get the mobile build rolling. I've changed my screen here so it's easier to see for everyone here. We next step, we're going to wrap this up and start with iOS, um, implement the ads, etc. Uh, it should all be pretty much good to go. So we're going to work on this for a bit. Also show the updated Rune Knight game. Actually, how about let's just let's show that because it's 3D and looks a lot cooler than the new 3D 3JS scene. We'll just stand that up locally. Should be on Index Mobile is for that one. I think we have Florida Man World running on the same port, so we'll need to double check that. While that's loading, I've just been thinking a lot about Lovable. You know, I've had some of the, I don't want to say craziest conversations, but the conversations around Lovable have felt very familiar, and I've been trying to figure out why, when I talk to people about Lovable, it feels familiar and exhausting a little bit. I think it's because I was thinking about this on my walk this morning. I think it's because it. Do you remember? Well, not remember. People are still doing this, but where kind of like there's like this mind virus you can get of like if I buy the domain, I have the best name for the domain. Um, or I have the best domain name and I bought it and like that's everything. And I'm guilty of this too. But it's like, oh, you have the name, that's like 80% of the work. I think that's the like people who like hoard domains and I bought, you know, more than I needed, but I get rid of the ones that I don't execute on within 6 months to a year. And I recommend it as a good practice to help really kind of focus in on what's important. But it it really it just reminds me of that kind of um, reward and no discipline. Like it's and when I think the way to explain it to the non-technical folks is, hey, like this is very great requirements. This is a good starting point. It's basically like a first draft of design and interaction. Um, but it's a lot like people who go to to Home Depot and they have a project they're working on and they want to build their own cabinets or their own, let's say, their own raised bed kit or, and there's different levels. There's like people who know how to stay in their lane like me. I'll buy plants, maybe some pots and like I know exactly what I need. Do I need like a fixture? It's like a 5 minute deal. Um, but then there's like kind of the whole spectrum of starting the project and executing on it. And then you've got the people, for example, who are going to make their own raised bed kits or something. So they have the dirt, they have the flowers, or the plants, or the seeds. But then they're buying like treated wood to build it with. And I've seen these, and it's like great, you're building the raised bed kit, and then you're poisoning the water table because you got this idea you want to try to do, and the world isn't stopping you, unfortunately, from doing the thing. And I think that's where the lovable stuff is like it's the illusion of accomplishing something that in reality is not the thing that you're trying to do. So the backend integrations are like getting a little better, but again, it's like uh, good for prototyping. Um, these are not production systems. And I think keep in mind that effectively you can build your own lovable with some reference files and Claude, which is basically what it is already. Maybe a couple super agents. That's pretty much it. So learn Claude. All right, that's my rant. I might start with my little rants at the beginning of these things. Um, I could talk through AI, dev tooling, best practices, things like that, but I do that all live. All right, so what are we doing? I want to show the 3D scene. Let's switch gears. It should be the terrain 3D scene is the one. And I misspoke. I misprompted this. Just run the current project locally. I should, yeah, I have the reference files in there. I should know what that means. I broke the production pipeline, but yeah, there it is. Great. Let's load it up. So this is Runite. This is the 2D MMO. Well, I made it 3D. But you could think of it as more like an isometric MMO. So this is the very beginning. You can see there's it's on a 3D model currently on one plane, and you have the wizard has this little shooting mechanic, and he's got these orbs he can charge up. if I take one of them out. Yeah, the collision mechanics are, it's pretty hard to hit each other. I think that's probably a good idea. And I need to add this starry, there's like a starry purple background to the to what's blue right now. But effectively, this is a 3JS model with a plane that these characters traverse up and down. And there's a little bit of math trickery to get it to work, but that's pretty much it. I've got multiplayer, real-time 2D multiplayer is working on 2D. This is the 3D one. I think the feedback I've gotten is this just looks so much better and more fun, and I think the terrain looks more interesting, and I need to add some tiles so that the terrain isn't you can't just like walk over it like they're all. I need to do some more work on that, so like you can like collide with terrain, and like the weapons will collide a little better. You can see him shooting back at me. Shoot me. Boom. So yeah, I think the terrain is looking pretty good. All running in the browser as well. I think I have the 2D. This is the 2D. Yeah, this is how it started, which was just kind of it's still actually using 3JS. They are pivoted up against a flat terrain. I kind of like the size of the characters with this view, but the you can just I just think the 3D, once I got the 3D working, it just looks way better. So that's what we're gonna go with. But real time all works. Oh, it looks like that broke. All right, but back on task here. Just wanted to film some content about the about Rune Knight. I had it working. I had mobile fully working too. Let me see if that's, I may have broken it. Let me see. Let me see if my, can't remember if did I add the conditional controls appear to have, oh, it's because that was on the previous 2D. This has gone through a lot of iterations. This is I basically abandoned the previous, they're not worth looking at. It's just where we end up landing just looks like so much better, or at least in the right direction. So obviously there's stuff to fix here, but I just think this looks pretty awesome. So it's going to have a just hyper low latency real-time engine, which I've already built. I'll probably start just with the 2D plane. Adding an additional plane is going to add a little bit of latency that I'm going to have to do a lot of math. And I've already done all the math for this 2D plane, low latency with a cache and a server and all that. I could actually walk through. I believe it's the S tier server is what's running now. So I can walk a little bit through the code. So we're using sockets, crypto library, obviously, to encrypt our requests. And then we start we start up the S tier server, um, and then here, let me scroll through. So we've got the game state manager, Supabase, which is, I believe I did deploy that a little bit ago. This was the hard part, which is a AAA Battle Royale configurations is what you have to tune along with the actual logic is tuning the configs of timing that match up to the rendering of the front end along with how you're sending and syncing all your messaging across the cache layer and the server layer. So the goal here is 100 players with unnoticeable latency. Some basic stuff here. This is where the math comes in, going into the LOD distances, how big of chunks we're sending of players per update, which is in performance. We have some anti-cheat stuff, which ensures that if a request comes in, somehow if they compromise the security, if a request comes in that's outside of these thresholds, it will be blocked and flagged as cheating. And then this is really the tricky part, which is the 60 FPS spatial updates and the interest radius. So we really only want to be kind of like how VR selectively renders at a higher rate where you're looking. We want to do that same methodology with where the player is on the map, so that we're not loading the entire map real time for everyone. That will make the performance suffer, and we're trying to optimize this to the absolute max. So we also have our compression threshold and prediction time. Got our anti-cheat system, flagging suspicious activity, validating actions, and then our S tier match management, where we create our match. We create a spatial index, which is an object on the game state, which is a hierarchical spatial index. So we have the grid along with the configs that cascade down into that class. Looks like the game just closed. We've got set player state, where we grab the position. We have the hot cache. We calculate the velocity and update the cache data. So we've got our warm cache and our hot cache. We have a warm cache, hot cache pattern as well. And then we compress, we queue all of the compressed updates as they stream in. And then we get our player state. This is just a highly performant cache check, hot cache, and then warm. And first checking the hot cache, and if not available, hit the warm cache and heat it up. And then the spatial queries with all of our optimizations, which is getting all the nearby players, and then that cascades into all of those real-time state update methods. That's about half of it. It's a little walkthrough. All right, let's switch gears to actually building this on Xcode. Got Xcode up and updated. We have our placeholder controls. It's loading up. Login keychain. What's going on with Xcode? Let's troubleshoot. Oh, it's because it's doing it a ton. You'd always allow. Ah, it's so annoying. Okay. This app is ready. Let's build it. I believe this is I have 2 developers. This should be the one. Let's try it again. I updated my operating system, so I have to redo some of these authentications. Right, I mean, I'm saying always allow, and it's still. There we go. Finally, it's installing it to my phone. Maybe it's not. It's the wrong certificate. Not personal team, it's a different company. Has to be that should be mine. Unable. Okay. We need to reset. Let's go to devices. And then need to remove it. Okay. the phone. I'm gonna need the debugger. Looks like it's still loading. But yeah, Claude can walk you through, just install Xcode and then all the dependencies will take forever, but Claude can do all that now if you don't have it set up already. And then it doesn't have terminating because of the Google Ads, doesn't have an app ID. Okay, so we're gonna probably want to comment that out until we add a legit one in. Comment out the call to Google Ads since we don't have an application ID with Google yet. And then I'll give the reason to Claude. Yeah, I know. Failed without an application, that's why we commented it out. So we're gonna comment it out in the initializer. Now we're syncing to the build. Interesting. Memory. All right. Now we need to clean house and then run it. We're running it. Command Shift K and then Command R. So if you do iOS development, you will get used to that. All right, it's loading on my phone. Okay, there's no way that's still the error. All right, so we're gonna just kill this. Let's re-clean it. Oh, it probably didn't generate the new. Wait. Let's clean it. And then I want to wipe all these so I can like see what actually happened. I wasn't paying attention. Okay, phone is running. You can see the disk use. It's loading. Okay, so it looks like there is client view kit requires update, and then all right. These are simple enough. We can just Claude them. There you go. Yeah, you got to remove it from the config. Silly. We're just gonna uninstall it because capacitor is picky and annoying about modules that are updated or added in. Okay, cool. Let's try it again. Replace it. Oh, I forgot to kill it. Oops. Okay, let's run. Build failed. There's like, this would probably be good to add to the reference file, but just, I think we're going to need to add this to the cloud folder in the reference files. If this fix works on this operating system, then we save the container now. Xcode just loves to just be stupid and crash. Yeah, of course you quit unexpectedly. Good job. Okay. Now add mob. For adding and removing modules, take what you, this is how you make good reference files. For adding and removing modules, take what you've learned from these issues and add to the appropriate cloud reference files so that all references modules are added or removed completely so that the build will succeed after those changes. Give it something it can handle. All right, build failed. Signing, some reason. Oh, because it crashed, I forgot. Man, Xcode, man. Bundle, where's the... Gotta add the... Okay, that's just, it's just me. There you go. Okay. Let's try it again. All right, so what did you figure out here? Let me add, update CloudMD, which is read every time there's a request, just like the .cloud folders. Remember that? Okay, disable. Capacitor plugin management. Install the npm package. Add the plugin to capacitor config JSON. Sync it. Rebuild. And then in removing, this is how you do it. And do this and that and that and that. Okay, cool. Good job. Good enough. What time is it? Got about another 10 minutes. Still getting the, still looking for, there must be another reference file this is in. Workspace file, it's disappeared. We're gonna close it and then crash it. I wish I hadn't added ads. All right, we're gonna go to File, Packages, and we're gonna reset the package caches. I bet it lost the site. Yep. You forgot already. Cool. We'll get this going here in a minute. my phone. It's installing. It says it's running. Should probably, after this, I should probably just run it in a emulator so you can see it. Okay, it's loaded. It's a little tricky. I'm doing some fancy stuff in this web view, so we're gonna run into some challenges. We've got this crazy procedural generations machine, and we're using Phaser 3 because it's faster than Phaser 4 for this use case. So yeah, on the build setup, it's gonna, I know what's going on. We need to load the Phaser bundle from open source location. So maximum call stack exceeded. Ooh. This is going to be a tricky one. It is running. You can see it. Yeah, this game is going to be interesting. It doesn't take up a lot of memory, but I actually don't think it has to do with the game, with the engine that I built. I think it's just about finding the Phaser module to load, and the way to do that within the mobile environment. Looks like we're having a socket issue. Let's kill it. You can see when you start up Claude and you ask the first question, it loads the Phaser it loads the Claude MB file, which is the parent one, because it ends up getting repassed in the vectorization every time. So it just did something silly with loading the engine. This is something Claude is useful for, in that it falls in the realm of just like really silly little configurations that have been around since before mobile development, and that's where having these armies of junior mid-level devs through AI is like super helpful, saves a lot of time. Okay, so it thinks the obfuscation settings are known to cause issues, so that's helpful. It's probably, so how I'm doing it is that I'm doing minification and obfuscation and then loading it into the browser, and that might just be like bombing the RAM of the WebKit view, which is what capacitor loads in the web view. So it's just going to change to be more friendly. These look fine. And then the index needs to reference the bundled file, which for some reason sometimes turns into a circular reference issue with the AI itself, which has been weird. So this is where AI makes mistakes. Um, that's the actual, just the phaser bundle, which it's used, and it's trying to change it to the minified JavaScript bundle, which is the game. And the those are two different things. So this is why you have to watch it closely. Phaser 3 engine bundle with the game bundle. This is incorrect. You need to still load in the phaser engine and the game bundle in a way that is compatible with capacitor. Put together a plan to do this. Let's make sure. Okay. So the index HTML phaser engine from CDN, the touch controls bridge, adds in game. Problem, the file doesn't exist in dist. Contains local phaser build, compiled game code, issues to fix, wrong game, needs to be bundle, CDN may not work reliably in capacitor, should use local. So update it, use bundle, update mobile file, and then rebuild and sync. Yes, that's fine. Hopefully that works. I need to make sure it's downloaded, but that's something the agents will know or be able to that's within the scope of what they can troubleshoot. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. All right, already syncing it. That's good. All right, let's see if these bundles are all loaded correctly. Capacitor shares index, not index mobile. Okay, so we need to make sure the config is set correctly. I wonder, I think it was loading the desktop version and not the mobile version. That was the problem. Okay. It should be loading the index mobile version. That's so crazy to me. It was loading the desktop. Oh, that's so dumb. No, if we're building the mobile app, we should use index mobile file. I think it got stupid pills. Stupid pilled. Something happened. It's getting throttled or something. Yes, mobile specific build script. Let's not break everything else. Smart. I've only got like 10 minutes here, so let's get this running. Okay, build it. You can see the procedural generation, which stays reliably random and distributed as we go up through 3,000 miles an hour, 3,500, 4,000 miles an hour. It's still rendering it real time. 5,000 miles an hour. This is all procedurally generated just in the browser in JavaScript. 6,000 miles an hour. This is where it starts tapping out at about 6,000 miles an hour. You can see this is where the engine can't keep up. Get up to 8,000 miles an hour. That's the cap. I just capped it there. Then it'll slow down slowly. It says running app. I'm gonna kill it. Clean. All right, it's loading. We're business. Please rotate your phone to landscape mode. Boop. And the game's loaded in. Looks like we're having an issue seeing the actual game. But why don't we start doing this on a simulator so that y'all can see it. So I'm gonna kill it, and then I need to open the debugger. Should be able to see that. And then still loading. All right, rotating. Cool. So you can see the controls and everything, but it looks like the bundle itself let's see what these don't matter, these errors. Not finding the phaser URL is an issue. That's why maximum call stick, I don't, that is an issue. So looks like capacitor can't find the phaser bundle, which we were supposed to just fix that. So obviously is not prettier, but this is easy to fix, UI stuff. Might be the order in which we're loading it. Got about 5 minutes left here. I'm gonna try moving it right before the bundle. That actually makes more sense. Right. Let's kill that. Stop, kill, or stop. Okay. I just wanted to restart it. And okay, great. That loaded fast. Loaded faster that time. And phaser looks like the phaser bundle is still having issues. Did it find it? It cannot find the variable. We have call stack. I wonder Stack Overflow is inside. I might have, we're going to try to downgrade. Not a lot of people have done this. I'm sure we'll get there. All right, we're going to rerun it. And I need to get rid of these messages so I don't get confused. All right. Oh, so close. Interesting. I wonder what errors we're getting. Bunch of vibrate. Not calling vibrate though. Interesting. Just saying navigator vibrate over and over again. It's not helpful. Skipping cycle due to overload. The web view did load, which is good. I think this is the only error that we care about. Looks like this is a API incompatibility. So controls are loading with the previous version, the car and the background, blue background showed up. Now nothing's loading with this version of Phaser, getting following errors. Looks like the taps aren't registering as well either, so that must be a Phaser engine issue. Yeah. And I think disabling obfuscation is probably the problem. I would agree, potentially. We don't want none of it, but we should like roll it all back. And then we can add it selectively. bundle's way smaller now. And we went back to the most compatible version of phaser. Cool. Rotate. Ooh. Ooh. We're in business. It's working. It's working. It's working. Oh. It's working. Okay. Amazing. Amazing. Look at that. Obviously we need to clean it up. Make it look a little better. Let's get into a bar fight. Oh, I blew it up. Whoops. Blew up the bar. It's my bad. Hate when that happens. Alright. Oh. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna restart. Restart. These hurricanes, man. Alright. There we go. I hit R again. Nope. Oh, I have to re-engage it. Let me fix that. Okay. Alright. Yes. I can throw furniture. I can punch. I'm gonna throw it. Throw the chairs. I don't know. Let me know if I should make this 3D. Leave comments, suggestions. I can actively make this better as we go along, but I am stoked. Won the bar fight. Let's go. Yeah. All right. All right. That's perfect timing. I've got to end this. Thanks for joining. And if you want to build games,